let's talk a little bit today about the .338 Winchester Magnum. Now, I believe in that old phrase, cliche, I guess, 2 is 1 and 1 is none. I own two .338 Winchester Magnums for different purposes and reasons. I wanted to introduce you to one of my babies here. This is a Browning A-bolt stainless steel .338 Winchester Magnum, left-handed, because I am left-handed, and it has a Weaver 1.5 by 5 scope on it for big game hunting. It has Butler Creek scope covers, flip tops, and if you notice something about this rifle, what do you notice? The barrel's been shortened. I had it cut to 19 inches or 19.5, whatever it is legal. Had a gunsmith do it, obviously, and had a muzzle brake put on it. It kicks about like a .270 Winchester, so it's no problem there. I like the .338 Winchester Magnum. It gets out there, reaches out there, it gets the job done. Usually when it strikes its game animal, it has about 1.5 tons of energy when it impacts the game animal. So, but usually I don't take shots at anything longer than about 200 yards. I do a lot of tree stand hunting, but more importantly than that, I do a lot of brush hunting. I go in the brush after the big game animal for various different reasons. Okay, now I do a lot of bear hunting, good old-fashioned bear hunting. Used to hunt over bait, but you can't bait anymore in the state of Colorado. So basically, you just got to look for them and stalk them, the whole thing. But I go into the brush. I've been pretty fortunate over the years. I don't recommend everybody do this. But the reason why this barrel is cropped like this and I have the muzzle brake installed, because of the brush I go through, or if I have to go over fences, but again, public ground. Some public ground has fences on it. Or I have to climb a tree, this stays out of the way. It's short, it's sweet, it gets the job done, and believe me, when I squeeze the trigger, something happens. I know, it blows up in my face, huh? No, not really. But what happens is that bullet strikes that animal, and almost instantaneous death. That's not always true. You always hear about, and the only things you see a lot of times on video is the one-shot kills. That's great, and I encourage you to make them if you can. But even if you're a big game animal and you get struck with a .338 Winchester Magnum, 230 grain fail-safe bullet, or some other appropriate size bullet, you're going to take a few steps first before you go over. Not always true, because again, by the time they cut the film, the only ones you ever see are the ones that go straight down. A lot of times they'll go ahead and walk off. But the .338 Winchester Magnum, it will do it for you. I highly encourage you to do this. This particular model here, I had custom fitted to me, the whole works, because when I go out there and I squeeze the trigger on a big game animal, I want something to happen to it, and it does. When that bullet hits, again, it hits with 1.5 tons, or even up to 4,000 pounds, which is 2 tons, of impact energy. It just depends upon how close it is. I try to get the shots as close as I can, and let the rest go ahead and do its job. Now, as far as bullets go, straight off the shelf, I always try to buy the premium ammunition, high quality bullets, because a lot of what takes place by the construction of the bullet. The bullet must be constructed, put together right, hold together right. It has to penetrate, has to go through the hair, has to go through the skin, has to go through the flesh, the meat, the fat, go through the bone, and then go into the vital organs and destroy. That's how a bullet kills, by tissue destruction and shock. An arrow kills, conversely, by cutting and bleeding. Now, one of my favorite loads that I hand load, and I do recommend you go ahead and hand load if you can, is a 230 grain fail-safe bullet. Very, very well made. Gets the job done. I like to use the nickel-plated brass. I don't have to. You can go ahead and use plain old brass if you want. I have some plain old brass right over here from the Remingtons. Once you go ahead and you use the factory loads, of course you can reload. save the brass and reload, and you can save a lot of money. At the high cost of things today, in the year 2015, believe me, $50, $60 or more per box for ammo, you learn to reload real quick if you shoot a lot like I did. So again, I can take this rifle and go virtually any place on this planet and kill the animal that I'm after. I could even kill elephant with it. However, I believe the laws are such where you cannot use something this small of a caliber to hunt elephant. But a properly placed bullet will kill anything on this planet, provided it penetrates to the vital organ that you're shooting after, whether it be a brain shot or the largest area, the heart and lung area. So this is what I recommend. You find the caliber that you like and you baby that thing. You get to know it. You custom that gun for you, that firearm for you. You might want a trigger guard, whole new trigger. You might have to crop the barrel, put a muzzle brake on it, special scope. Incidentally, this Weaver scope, it's a 1.5 by 5. But at the time I bought it, $300, $350, right around there, $400, somewhere around there. Well, I don't need $1,000 or $1,500 or $2,000 rifle scope. If that's what you want, your budget will allow it, by all means go for it. A less expensive rifle scope, that's well made. The optics are coated properly, just as good as that $1,500 rifle scope. And it's not hitting you in your bank account, and you can convince the wife that you may need another rifle. Because I was always been asked, well, how many rifles do you need? You know what my answer is to that? Just one more. Thanks for watching. Incidentally, at the end of this video right here, I'm going to have listed some of my favorite recipes for hand loading the .338 Winchester Magnum. And if you want something to really knock down the game animals, .338 Winchester Magnum, one of the most popular rifle calibers in Alaska and North America for big game. Thanks.